all Invictus. Never stop fighting and do all you can to lift up everyone around you.
Happening. Welcome to Invictus Games, The Daily Show. I'm Jody Vance, Vancouver-based Canadian sports broadcaster, alongside my teammates for the duration of these games officially underway today. Jonathan Edwards is here with me, Invictus Games Foundation trustee, alongside JJ Chalmers, who is also an Invictus Games Foundation trustee, but also a former British Royal Marines commando, multi-medal winner, Invictus family member. I've got so many medals on this couch, I don't even know where to begin, but I think we begin with your friendship first.
Yeah, so we met the first Invictus Games in London back in 2014. I was hosting the TV. JJ came in with some of his pals, I think Dave Henson as well, who was the British captain at the time, with your medals, and we had a chit-chat, and afterwards we got on great. And you said, you know, I quite fancy this as a career path, getting involved with television, and here we are together, nearly 10 years on. I mean, it's a bit of a moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is lovely. And listen, it's testament to Jonathan being so kind to help me get started in the industry, but actually, really the games themselves, for taking sort of, you know, the skills and the knowledge and the values that I developed through a career in the military that I thought had been taken away from me because of when I was wounded in Afghanistan. But actually, Invictus teaches you that you can take those things and you can apply them to something different. And actually, it gives you the confidence as well to sort of dream big, you know, and a career in television and you know, working on things as magnificent as this it's a big dream. But listen, when you have that the power of Invictus behind you, you can achieve it.
Let's talk a little bit about broadcasting careers, both of you. I mean, Eurosport, BBC, JJ, Paralympics, but also Olympic Games. A little bit of a first there for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very fortunate to have, I suppose I'm the first presenter with a disability to have ever presented the Olympic Games. And that's not about the Olympics or the Paralympics being being more important than the other, but actually it's about the fact that they have the same importance in the world. But interestingly, about coming back to the Invictus Games, this inhabits a very different space, and Jonathan knows this probably better than anybody because, of course, you know, he is an Olympic Games gold medalist.
World record holder in the triple jump. When was that established?
A long time ago.
Yeah,
1995.
Yeah.
I know I don't look old enough.
It stands to today.
It still stands today. But I mean, to JJ's point, you know, I competed in 4 Olympic Games. I actually won a gold medal in Canada in 2001 in Edmonton at the World Championships. So I have a Canadian connection. This is a different quality, a different type of event. I mean, we'll talk about competitors rather than athletes. I think that's the terminology we should use, because it's not primarily about being an elite athlete. It's about using sport for rehabilitation, which is, of course, where the Paralympics starts.
Yeah.
Ludwig Gutmann from the Stoke Mandeville Hospital in London saw that sport was the way to rehabilitate wounded service men and women. And here we are with the Invictus, living exactly that same philosophy, but not looking at it primarily in terms of medals. And there's no other sporting event, I think, or event, should I say, quite like this. There really is a very special bond, and you go to war with somebody, or you're prepared to go to war with somebody and potentially lose your life. I mean, there's nothing else like that.
Yeah, and across nations as well. Yeah. You know, this is the thing, we've got 23 nations here, and actually that bond of service is the same across nations. And this is, you know, we'll say it a lot this week, this is an Invictus family. And quite importantly, it's also not just about the competitors, those that served in uniform, but actually their friends and family that ultimately have served as well, because service is this sort of universal thing that particularly when you experience a trauma like I did, you know, that trauma can be passed on to those around you as well.
Right. We talk a lot about generational trauma. Invictus Games is generational healing.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a beautiful way of looking at it. And actually, it's not just about the game's ability to be a recovery tool for those that are taking part in it, but actually, it's those of you that are watching this at home right now, you know, their ability to look into our world and learn something from it, to be inspired by it, but ultimately, you know, to give this platform to tell the stories of the remarkable men and women that have worn uniform and have lived through the most challenging of circumstances. We can all learn something from that.
I want to ask you, Jonathan, because you have competed at the highest level, won the gold medal, world record holder, were your friends and family easily spotted when you were at the Olympic Games?
No, they weren't easily spotted. You didn't necessarily know where they were going to be sitting. So when you'd come in and you'd see, you know, a sea of thousands and thousands of faces. And almost, I would try and blank that out. And my friends and family weren't always there. I mean, always people that I knew. It was much more of a solitary type thing. And we'll see, and we'll see some highlights of the opening ceremony a little bit later on. And we'll see that friends and family are front and centre. We'll see that as we watch the sport develop through the week. And you know, Jed, you said it well. It's about not just the competitors. It's about the friends and family and that shared journey of recovery.
Each competitor will have 2 friends or 2 family members with them throughout these games, and we will share their stories as we move along. But I want to make sure that we get to the man who is at the helm of these Invictus Games at Vancouver Whistler 2025. Have a look.
Hi, my name is Scott Moore. I'm the CEO of the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025. The Invictus Games are like nothing I've ever been involved in. I've been lucky enough to do 11 Olympics and multiple major international events, but this is really about a journey, a healing journey. And it's about giving back. It's about saying thank you for service. It's about celebrating that service. And it's about helping those who have helped us in ways we may never know about to get further on their journey towards wellness. The other things I've learned is how important recognizing service is. For so many of these competitors, they've had their injuries, whether they're physical injuries or invisible injuries, and they feel a little forgotten. And too often they're invisible. And way too often they're homeless or suffering from mental challenges, and people aren't necessarily putting out that helping hand as much as they should. So for me to be able to be a part of that, it's been incredibly rewarding personally. And for our team to be thanked by the people who we should be thanking is really an amazing experience. We're humbled by the fact that so many people from around the world are saying thank you for giving us this opportunity. And for me, it's really us that should be thanking them for what they've done for us and for being here and inspiring us.
Invictus Games 2025 honors This Personal Journey, presented by ATCO.
My name is Chris McGowan. My role in the Armed Forces, I was a cook. Being on the ships, we're kind of known as the heart of the ship because we're right in the middle. We're a big morale booster on the ship. I was really big into the gym and fitness, and then I kind of stepped back because of injury and illness. Now that I'm a part of Invictus and they're showing me that the light again, I'm back into the gym, I'm back doing things, and I know that this is going to be the best for me and my mental health. So I've really stepped forward from both training camps that I've been on. The events for the Invictus Games that I'm going to be participating in is wheelchair basketball that I'm really excited for. It's so much fun. I'm going to do indoor rowing. That 4-minute row is intense. And I'm going to be doing Nordic skiing. I'm a beginner at that. I've done it back in high school, and that was about it. I'm super excited to just get out there and give her my all. Family is the most important thing in the world to me. My original family that I grew up with were all separated and broken, but my family I keep tight. They've helped me through my military career. With the Invictus family, with the people that I'm meeting, I have them to lean on and to talk to and to share experiences with, and they can share their experiences with me. I am Chris McGowan, and I am family.
This personal journey was supported by ATCO, co-presenting partner of Invictus Games 2025.
So much excitement around the opening ceremony, the plans behind what will unfold at BC Place Stadium. You need to learn of them from the man who will direct those ceremonies. Watch this.
Hi, I'm Patrick Roberge. I'm the executive producer of the Invictus Games 2025 opening and closing ceremonies. I had the privilege of producing the opening ceremonies for the 2017 Invictus Games, and I learned what a special event this really is. This isn't just a big sporting event. This has a lot of meaning to not only the competitors and their families, but to the community to host these people and really let them know that we get it. We know that this is part of their journey of healing, but also just getting to the games is such an important step for them. And we want to set the stage right. We want to show the rest of the world that not only will these opening ceremonies tell everyone how we're going to host these games, but it's going to set the tone for the sporting events, for the festivals, for all the other activities that go with the games. And we're going to do it Canadian style. They all come from different walks of life, and they all have a different story, and they're all dealing with different things. One of the biggest things we're dealing with is PTSD. A lot of these competitors have PTSD, so you won't see any fireworks in the show because that triggers PTSD. But you will see some genuine warmth and hospitality and some amazing performances. And we want to show them that the entire audience have come together to welcome them and just say that moment when those competitors hit the stadium floor, they're going to know that they're in Canada and we are so excited that they're here.
So the vision behind the opening ceremony is huge, obviously. The difference between an opening ceremony at an Olympic Games versus an Invictus Games, JJ, tell us the meaning of what the participants will experience, what the friends and family will experience.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the 2014 games, you know, the first Invictus Games sort of so clearly, and I think the most striking moment of it for me was walking out into the arena and there being a crowd of thousands of people there. And it was this sort of idea of, you know, that kind of, if you build it, they will come thing, because this was the first games and nobody really knew what it was. And it was that sort of sense of gratitude that we got from the crowd, because no one joins the armed forces for a thank you or a pat in the back, but actually to feel that level of gratitude and that thanks for our service was incredible. And it was nothing that any of us ever expected, and now people do expect it a little bit. It is part of the experience, because there's an important part of that, which is for some people just walking into the arena is going to be their medal. Because it might be someone that hasn't left their home and you know, hasn't got out of their living room for years, but actually the Invictus Games is going to unlock that for them.
And look, and I think the big difference between Olympic and a Paralympic opening ceremonies for Invictus is that the competitors and the friends and family, as we'll see when we look at the highlights of what happened earlier on, is that they are being celebrated.
Yeah.
Right there, and that's not quite the same, I don't think, with an Olympic or a Paralympic Games.
Weren't your family right there with you?
Well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see them, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
you were looking.
You'd walk out. I mean, in the athlete parade is the most watched bit of an Olympic or a Paralympic Games, but the ceremony itself is, I think, probably takes front and centre stage. Whereas here, we've got some fantastic acts, as we'll see, and some great speeches, but the athletes, the competitors, I should say, come in at the beginning, and they're there in the centre with their friends and family, and they're very much, this is your show.
So JJ, take us back to when you were just about to walk in to that first opening ceremony and the anticipation that you felt.
It was just a sense of none of us really knew what was coming. Like, and again, we do much more to prep people because we have a bit of a sense of the enormity of what our competitors are going to experience at these games. But we just didn't really know what was going to happen. But the importance of the opening ceremony as well is to set the tone for the week as well. And it's a celebration, because all of this is a celebration of the successes and the lives that our competitors have lived. But also it's setting that tone of, these are your games, as Jonathan says. And the more you put into it, the more you get out.
I think actually it would be more overwhelming to be an Invictus competitor and come into a ceremony. It would be to be an Olympic competitor, an athlete, and come into a ceremony, because it is so much more, I feel, about friends and family and the competitors themselves. I mean, it is remarkable, as I say, you know, seen lots of Olympic and Paralympic games, but there's nothing quite like this.
No. And like this, the Invictus Games, The Daily Show.
Right now, it's time to sit back and enjoy with us highlights of what was a spectacular opening ceremony.
In the spirit of the customs and culture of the Coast Salish peoples, we welcome the participating nations to the Invictus Games and to the lands of the 4 host First Nations. Georgia!
There was no adaptive sport in Georgia until they joined Invictus in 2018 in Toronto. So Invictus Games has literally transformed adaptive sport in this country, in this nation.
Nigeria!
What a story Nigeria is. They joined in Dusseldorf. At the time, there was no place for veteran recovery, never mind adaptive sport, in Nigeria. And since Invictus Games in Germany, Nigeria has embraced the need to support their veterans and wounded, injured or sick service people. Look at this. You think they're into it? I think they are.
He's just won the flag waving competition. I mean, that was some style. Yes.
Literally last week they broke ground on a specific facility to support veterans and adaptive sport. Hear the ovation for Team Ukraine. The crowd is on its feet. Oh, to feel the energy in here, this is something.
So powerful.
I raise my hands.
United Kingdom, Royaume-Uni.
Huge ovation.
Big ovation.
Where it all began, Jonathan.
It's like we're popular in Canada.
There's the founding patron, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex.
And let's say the biggest cheer so far.
Oh, yes. Well,
he's just done a remarkable job with this. I was there in London in 2014 when he felt like he was a young boy then. When you look at him now, and incredible that event, the way he brought it together, the way he inspired people, and from that, which we thought was going to be a one-off, has grown this movement, which has gone around the world.
Stadium. Always a very competitive team in all team sports, a very large team here with a massive community of supporters. Look at the excitement and the smiles. Oh. Of course, Vancouver very close to...
And now the host country of the Invictus Games 2025, Canada! Canada! Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command, à ton bras. Representing the host country, please welcome the Governor General of Canada, Her Excellency, the Right Honourable Mary Simon.
These games are a testament to the courage and fighting spirit of personnel in uniform. Those who serve their country have faced battles that many of us cannot even begin to imagine. No militaire fond de grands human beings can be strong enough to overcome adversity, even trauma. Each of you competing in these games exemplifies the strength and resilience found in the journey of recovery. L'espoir est le meilleur is an old Inuit word, ayuinata. It signifies perseverance in the face of adversity. It means never give up. Oh.
Now representing the province of British Columbia, please welcome Premier David Eby.
Behind me, we've got our friends from the United States who are here today. And look, I know our countries are having a moment right now, right? But there is not a person here, there is not a Canadian that does not know that our soldiers have fought and died and cried and celebrated beside Americans for generations. And I'll tell you as a politician that it doesn't matter what the politicians say. Because if you need us, you just say the word, USA. And you know what? If we ever need you, and it came down to it, I know you'd be there in a second. God bless the USA. God bless Canada. God bless all of you. Thank you for your work. We love you. Fight hard and win. We're so proud of you.
Here to perform the anthem himself for the very first time, and joined by members of the Universal Gospel Choir, the Royal Canadian Navy Naden Band, and the Invictus Youth Strings, please welcome the musical genius, the icon himself. Give it up for Chris Martin.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever God's made for my unconquerable soul. The fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. In the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shame, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Thank you, everybody.
The Invictus Games flag embodies the hope and spirit of all the Invictus Games competitors. And now the flag makes its final journey here to the welcome ceremony. The founding patron of the Invictus Games, Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry.
Hello, Canada, and bienvenue. So, I would like to begin by honoring the First Nations who are hosting this year's Games. Lil'wat, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh. Heitsap, Kukwilum. From the bid for the Games through to this week's competition, we have walked together side by side on this journey. And we are so grateful to you for having these Games on your land. Today and for the next week, Warriors unite. In this moment of difficulty and division in many parts of the world, we gather here in Vancouver in a spirit of unity. We represent 23 nations, speak many different languages, and reflect the full breadth of the world's religions and faiths. Beyond any differences, here at the Invictus Games, we are grounded in mutual respect, competing fiercely, but believing in one another, supporting one another, and rooting for one another. The Games were born more than a decade ago from a promise that I made to myself. A promise to uphold my obligation, a sacred obligation after my own decade and privilege of military service, to do whatever I could to help my fellow brothers and sisters heal, and to champion everything that we stand for. Over the past decade, I've lost count of the times that we've heard you tell us that the Invictus Games saved you. Respectfully, I disagree. Invictus didn't save you. You saved yourself. The Games simply reveal what is already within you, that scarcest and most precious of the world's resources, character. A spirit of fortitude and perseverance that can never be defeated. That is the magic of the Invictus Games. At this moment, when there is no shortage of crises, no absence of uncertainty, no lack of weak moral character in the world. The values you embody, the way you carry yourselves, not only at the Invictus Games, but each and every day. Your courage, your resilience, your humanity illuminate a path forward for us all, and for that, we thank you. So, as we embark on this year's competition, here is my challenge to all of you. Show the world how you behave under completely impossible circumstances. Show the world your fearlessness. Show the world the grandeur in your attempt at victory. Show the world why you are Invictus. Thank you.
Here comes the moment of the day, presented by Boeing.
Okay, you ready to get this fire started? All right. You need to know two things about the Invictus Games. The first is, it's not a sporting event. It's about using sport for its transformative power on a healing journey. And the second thing is, this is about a legacy of gratitude. To get the flame started, I'm asking you to do one thing. On the count of three, thank you. 1, 2, 3, thank you!
And that was our Moment of the Day, supported by Boeing, co-presenting partner of Invictus Games 2025.
The Invictus Games 2025 are spread across both Vancouver and Whistler. It's time to hear from both mayors. We start with Ken Sim.
You know, when I think of the athletes that participate in the Invictus Games, they're incredibly inspiring. These are individuals who put themselves in harm's way so we get to live the lives that we do. And then to see them in action, you know, participating in sports, how is that not inspiring? Not just for, you know, myself personally, but for all our friends and families and everyone who get to watch the games. It's incredible. It's an honor to host the Invictus Games here in Vancouver. The athletes are incredibly inspiring, and you know what? This is a world-class event, and Vancouver has a track record of hosting world-class events, and this is just another one that will really put Vancouver on the map. I hope the participants at the Invictus Games fall in love with our city. It's really, look around you. It is hard not to fall in love with our city.
Hosting the Invictus Games is an incredibly exciting moment for Whistler to welcome people from around the world to experience the healing power of sport together. Whistler was built as a place that was really intended to welcome people and to be a gathering place for people, so it's tremendously exciting. Whistler's an incredibly special place for us as Whistlerites because it's home, first of all, to 15,000 people who love this place, who love being in the mountains, who love being a part of the sports that Invictus athletes will experience. And for us, being host to people experiencing why we came here and why we've stayed is going to be a pretty amazing moment for all of us. One of the coolest memories I have of this space was when Soldier On came to town and they participated in the skeleton experience up in the sliding center, and it was stood at the bottom of the track and watched people as they had experienced flying down ice at 80 kilometers an hour, and just seeing smiles on people's faces of a cross between fear and exhilaration was amazing, and it'll be exciting to see that same kind of thing on people's faces again. We're looking forward to it.
Here comes another special Moment of the Day.
At any major sporting event, the pursuit is always for a medal: gold, silver, bronze. The medals are a very important piece of the Invictus Games puzzle. In fact, big stories incorporated into these medals. Have a look at their stories.
Invictus Games 2025 honors This Personal Journey, presented by ATCO.
My name is Levi Nelson, and I am a contemporary Indigenous artist from the Lil'wat Nation. I've always been a creative person. My inspiration, it's sort of a broad spectrum of what makes up being an Indigenous person today. I draw from all different nations, pop culture, and also my own regional interior Salish design. The identity for the Invictus Games 2025 initially went out as an artist call for one artist, but because it was situated in 4 nations' territories, they invited an artist from each nation to apply. So we all collaborated on that, myself being from Lil'wat, Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish Nation artists also involved with the branding. Some of the early ideas that we explored together were coming together, pulling together like in a canoe, for instance, or what it means to heal as a people together. That really helped us decide what the identity would be. This is my sketchbook for the Invictus Games. I wanted it to be simple, but I also wanted it to reference back to the original branding and identity of what we as the 4 host nations artists came up with. We have the war paddle, half of the ancestral eye, and the bottom representing the wave. So we have earth, air, like sky and water, and of course the spirit. Wow, oh my gosh. This is a Coast Salish design on a medal that is going around the necks of warriors, of veterans who have fought for us all over this world. And I am so proud to have worked with each and every one of the artists from the 4 host nations. These designs come from our ancestors who are also artists. Around the outer edge here we have the inner cedar bark rope that is common through each one of our nations, and it represents unity. We have the triangle and the wave pattern that come from our blankets and baskets. We have this paddle design here on the edge, and of course in the center, the ancestral eye, or the eye of the creator, and then the I am. And that in itself is a very sacred phrase. If you look at this gold ribbon here, it is comprised of our design, the ancestral eye, as well as the wave and mountain and valley patterns. Look at the lettering on that too. It's so deep, so regal, so beautiful.
This personal journey was supported by ATCO, co-presenting partner of Invictus Games 2025.
We're joined now by Tiwani Joseph, First Nations sport leader. First and foremost, thank you for being here on Invictus Games, The Daily Show. We're very proud to have you here.
Hoi chika, thank you.
And we want to show these beautiful medals so you can tell us more about them and what they mean.
Well, you know, with Levi and Mac and Olivia and Ray coming together, it was really, from what I understand, the 4 host First Nations artists, which are storytellers in our community, but also they're connected to our ancestors. So out of their hands comes the ability to share these stories of the canoe and traveling together and moving together, and the weavings of our culture that are also our connection to our ancestors in the eye of the creator. And that's so important. And keep them in this box. Sometimes we keep our treasures in these boxes, in these bentwood boxes, and it's a way for us to be able to connect with the athletes, but when they leave, it's a little bit of each of the 4 host nations, the Lil'wat, the Musqueam, the Squamish, and the Tsleil-Waututh peoples, and all the peoples that have come before us.
Beautiful.
And Tiwani, I want to say how much I think the First Nations have added to this Games already. I mean, with the opening ceremony, I think it set the tone. And both of us as trustees, you know, you wonder how that mixes with Invictus when you're looking at the plans and the branding for the Games, but it's been beautiful. It really has.
It was an incredible experience to be able to come together, and when you think about Invictus and community and respect and understanding and moving forward together, those are really values that we share within all of our communities, and to all the communities across the country that are First Nations, Inuit and Métis, those values all coming together through a games where we hold up and lift up the athletes from around the world. That's really what we do on this part of the world, and that's been a big part of this story that's been starting to develop.
It is beautiful that ultimately these medals are going to end up across the globe as well, to be able to take your culture and then have it shared across 23 nations.
It will be incredible because also when we have our longhouse, because our Coast Salish tribes, our Litwack tribe is actually Stalium. They lived in Ishkins, so circle houses in the ground. But here on the coast, around the Vancouver area, the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh are longhouse peoples. But when we have our big ceremonies, when we have our potlatches or the ceremonies, our traditional work we call it, we invite people to come and become witnesses. And so the witnesses are asked to remember everything that happens. And when they go back to their countries, to tell that story over and over again. And that's our oral traditions. And these medals will go around the world, and the story will be told and passed on, we think, 7 generations ahead.
And today you were with Jonathan and I in the booth as we witnessed the opening ceremony of these Invictus Games. And JJ, of course, you were in the room enjoying those games, the ceremonies. We saw so much beauty, the paddles, the symbolism, but also people who would raise their hands like this. Can you explain what that means?
Absolutely, and the drum is really the heartbeat of our nation, of our people, so that drum really brings us together, and with the bagpipes and everything that was there, again, our connection to culture, connection to people. When we hold up our hands, we welcome people, and it was incredible to see the athletes that came in, and the youth who were in their own regalia from the Foros First Nations welcoming them, holding their hands up, and it was also important to see those teams holding their hands up in reciprocation and back. So you're welcome, and we're welcome to be here.
You know how well it sits with Chris Martin, with Katy Perry, with Noah Khan, First Nations, kilts, bagpipes. I mean, it was spectacular, wasn't it?
It was something that I've never witnessed before in this way, because the feeling in the room was about community, and it was strong, and the energy that was there and the emotions that were in that stadium, it was like we were in our own longhouse. That's what it feels like to be in our longhouse.
We raise our hands to you in gratitude. Thank you, Tawani, for being here, being a part of our journey. We hope to have you back here on The Daily Show. The Daily Show will be back.
It will be back.
Indeed. Up next on the schedule, wheelchair
Curling.
and wheelchair basketball.
Yeah.
So that QR code will take you where you need to go, and we'll meet you back here each and every day on The Daily Show. Thanks for joining us.